Hello, good morning. Welcome to NewsDesk. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125 across all our social media handles. We're joining news on TV. Coming up, members of CETAG call the bluff of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission as their strike continues unabated in blatant disregard of GTEC's directive. We'll hear from GTEC, which has ordered the Controller and Accountant General's Department to freeze the salaries of defined teachers. Also in this bulletin, residents of Komenda in the Central Region accused President Akufo-Addo of failing to fulfill his numerous promises to operationalize Komenda's sugar factory.
Sugar factory now, when we are sure,
they have not planted any sugarcane here. Our prayer was that they would have grown some sugarcane.
Later in the bulletin, new mother accuses Mamobi General Hospital of medical negligence after a cannula got stuck in her veins while on admission.
I came to give birth at the Mamobi Hospital, but had a cesarean session. After the operation,
over there, so I'm actually feeling something over there.
I'm Faustina Safo. Take a seat, be my guest. Thanks for choosing us. Now, members of CETAG have called the bluff of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission as their strike continues unabated in blatant disregard of GTEC's directive. GTEC, we know, has ordered the Controller and Accountant General's Department to freeze the salaries of defunct teachers as they urge them to return to the classroom, while CETAG withdrew their services nationwide in June over unpaid allowances and unfavorable conditions of service. With academic activities in limbo, GTEC has returned to the negotiation table with leadership of CETAG. Well, Deputy Director General of GTEC will be joining us shortly on the show. His name is Professor Francis Nunum. But let's bring back that statement from CETAG that they issued on the 23rd of this month. And it reads, an emergency meeting of National Council today, 23rd of July, 2024. Council members took a unanimous decision to withdraw all our services, which include attendance to meetings, congregation ceremonies, and provision of academic counseling services, as well as supervision of students in the halls of residence with immediate effect until further notice. While the decision is in response to the Minister for Education's directive to principals and the Controller and Accountant General not to validate the July 2024 salaries of teaching staff of the 46 public colleges of education due to our ongoing legal strike. Meanwhile, leadership has referred the illegal directive to freeze our July 2024 salaries to our lawyers to take the necessary action on it immediately. We wish to assure all members that leadership is determined to fight until justice is served. CETAG. Well, let's touch base with our reporters on the ground as we gauge the impact of the strike action. We start here in the Greater Accra region. My colleague Kenneth Jesse has been doing some snooping. Kenneth, what can you report?
I'm reporting live from the Accra College of Education. The last time we were here, the strike had entered its 14th day. Well, today it has entered its 41st day, and nothing seems to have changed. The last time we were here, the place looked very deserted, and the situation is almost the same today. Now, the people you see in the background are basic school students of the place. They are the only people you are likely to see when you come here. Most of the students are not on campus. Students have, gone back to their destination. Students who have come from far away have had to go back, and those who are near, because of economic challenges because they do not know how long this strike will withstand. So they've also had to, go back to their houses. And then when we came here, we met the SRC president the last time we were here. Today, too, we've met him here, and we want to speak to him briefly about the devastating impact this strike continues to have on their academic activities and other activities, including economic and even psychological. Tell us more. You're live on Joy News.
Thank you so much. My name is Richmond Eje. This is the president of Accra College of Education. I'm sad to be with you on the issue of the CETAG strike action. I would like to say that the strike has actually hit down the students and then even the entire nation as a whole. As I speak, most of the students have gone home. A few of them are on campus and trying to put themselves together to ensure that they get something out of the book. And as I speak, the hardship with the students is continuing each day. As you rightly said, today marks the 41st day after the strike. And I believe that the negotiation between the CETAG and then the government has to be made as I speak. Level 400 students are renting outside campus, and the whole of the 41 days after the strike, we have spent our money and then even the renting, meaning if they should come back and then there will be an adjustment in the semester, that means that we're going to incur more costs on our rent and then our feeding staffs. So I don't know, but as I speak, the Minister of Education met CETAG yesterday and then other stakeholders, and I believe that they are going to have something fruitful in the coming days for us to return back to the classroom. Economically, most students are down. Myself, as I speak to you, I don't have money to feed myself again because I've spent all the money for the past weeks and then the days.
And Faustina, the magnitude of this is huge because there's a huge difference between the last time I was here and today. The last time I was here, for instance, I saw some students, gathering around, having a chit-chat. Even when I entered the SRC president's office, there were about 4 more students there with him. But today, he's the only person there. And as he's rightly explained to us, it is about the economic effect this is having on them. Most of them have run out of money, so they can no longer stay on campus. And the last time I was here, when I spoke to especially the final year students, they were quite disturbed that it could affect their graduation because they are supposed to complete school this year. And now that these teachers are on strike, it means that no one knows when they are returning, but if they eventually return, that means that their academic calendar will be stretched and they will be bombarded with a lot of things to study. So there's a sharp contrast between what happened or what I witnessed here the last time I was here, that is on the 27th of June, and today. You are seeing barely no students of the Accra College of Education in sight. Just the SRC president and another administrator who is here with us. Now, let me come back to you, Mr. President. I mean, they have expressed genuine concerns about their salary structure and all that. From a personal perspective, do you think that they should call off the strike?
As I speak, I think this is an issue that is not only happening this year. It has been an issue that has been there for quite long now, for years, and I believe that if they don't meet the negotiation, I think they are not coming back. That is what I see from afar, and I believe that the government should be able to attend to them and let them meet their negotiation before they come back to the classroom.
Okay, all right, thank you. So we understand that another meeting is going to take place, and that meeting will be to decide whether or not to call off the strike. And then it is the hope of all the students, as rightly mentioned by the SRC president, that the strike is called off so that academic activities can resume here at the Accra College of Education and the numerous colleges of education in the country. Faustina.
Thank you so much, Kenneth Jesse. Let's take you now to the Ashanti region. Nana Bwachi Yadum is in Kumasi. Nana, what can you report from the ground?
I'll start this way. Well, firstly, we have visited some colleges of education here in the Ashanti region, and I must say that the situation is not different from other schools that Kenneth has visited this morning. Well, in the Ashanti region, a number of these schools are really suffering. Students who would have to write their examination are complaining about the impact of the strike. Well, it's been about 6 weeks now since CETAG went on the strike, and as we engaged these students some weeks ago and even yesterday, they tell us that they are not doing well economically. And then when it comes to the academic aspect of what they have to be doing on campus, it has really turned out to be poor. These final year students who would have to write their final examination this year are contemplating as to whether or not they would be able to write their exams. And per the affiliate universities, their laws or their statutes, if a student misses class for 21 days, that student is not qualified to write the final year examination. But here's the case that CETAG has been on strike for 6 weeks now, which is past 21 days. And these students have not had access to their classrooms for more than 21 days. And so they are contemplating as to whether or not affiliate universities will give them the chance to participate in the final year examination. And so for what we can report here in the Ashanti region, we realize that most of these students, after yesterday's press release by CETAG, these students are going back to their houses because economically, they are not strong enough to be on campus. And also, when it comes to the academic activities that they have to do, it is also not going on well for them. And so in the Ashanti region, at the Wesley College of Education and then the St. Louis College of Education, the strike is really biting hard on these students, most of them returning back to their to their houses, because they are not in good standing economically and then in good standing academically. This is the impact of the strike on these colleges of education that we have visited here in the Ashanti region.
Thank you so much, Anabachi Adam. Let's take you now to the central region. Eric Asante is a man on the grounds. Eric, tell us what's happening in the central region. Eric, you have to position rightly for us to hear you clearly. If you just tuned in, we're discussing CETAG strike. Now, although they have been directed to return to the classroom, their strike is going on unabated. They have refused to return to the classrooms. They are pushing for favorable conditions of service. They say government have failed to pay some of their allowances. I'm hoping I have better connection to Eric Asante. Eric, can you hear me now? Unfortunately, we don't have Eric, but let's go on the phone lines now and speak to someone that can give us an update on this. He's Director General of GTEC, Professor Francis Nonu, to join us to give background to this. We already know that in these circumstances, GTEC have ordered that the salaries for defunct teachers be frozen, and we want to get updates on his engagement with CETAG so far. Prof, thank you for your time here on Newsdesk. I'm hoping my connection to you is fine. I want to find out, you had a meeting with leadership of CETAG just yesterday. What was the update after the meeting concluded? Prof, you have to position rightly. I can't seem to hear you. I wanted to find out if indeed you have concluded talks with leadership of CETAG. Will they be returning to the classroom? What's the update from your crunch meeting with them yesterday? Well, I'm reliably informed that Professor Francis Nonu's connection to us is clear. However, he's refusing to speak. So let's try one more time. Prof, I'm hoping you can hear me. I want to find out what's the update from your meeting yesterday after engaging leadership of CETAG. So unfortunately, we don't have him. Well, if you just tuned in, we're discussing CETAG strike, and their strike goes on unabated because they have refused to return to the classroom, even though GTEC has ordered that they return to the classroom and has even frozen salaries of different teachers. I'm told I have Eric with me now. He's reporting live from the Central Region. We're gauging the mood and the impact of the strike. Eric, what can you report? Well, unfortunately, connection hasn't been favorable for us. We'll have to move on to other stories. Now, residents of Komenda in the Central Region are accusing President Akufo-Addo of failing to fulfill his numerous promises to operationalize a Komenda sugar factory. According to the residents, their frustration is over government's decision to import raw and unrefined sugar after neglecting the factory for 8 years. There's more in this report by our features editor, Richard Kojoyanko.
The amount of land we need for the sugar, the type of sugar we can grow here, all those things were not properly organized. I think our organization, and also the between strategic investor and also it to me about Bisomu.
President Akufo-Addo making a promise to the people of Komenda. That was 5 years ago.
The Nikan Sugar Factory. Still, some civil works are being done there. Nyampa, by the end of March, it will be completed. And as I say, planning, no Indian phone by whenever by April, production will have begun of the sugar factory.
President Akufo-Addo promising the people of Komenda again when the chiefs of Komenda paid him a visit at the Jubilee House. And yet another promise in 2021.
According to Chairman and the people in the Ministry of Trade, arrangements are by the first quarter of 2022, now factory is going to start running again.
And another one in 2022. Other promises have been made to the people of Komenda by the president, but each time their hopes are dashed.
Unrefined sugar set up this one.
The setup for the unrefined sugar is too small.
See, I try machinery. I am his machine.
Deputy Trades and Industry Minister Michael Ochibefi announcing that government will be importing raw sugar to feed the factory.
Now the best we can do is because of America.
Now the best we can do is to import raw or unrefined sugar from South America until we get our own plantation.
The latest is Works and Housing Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. Mr. Oppong-Nkrumah, who was on a tour in the area, told the chiefs and people government needed their support in order to operationalize the factory.
Processed.
We don't have a plantation to feed the factory. What is left is to get raw sugar or unrefined sugar. When they are bringing it like that, government needs to waive the taxes on it to make it affordable. Our friends on the other side do not want to support it. We are appealing to you to intervene so they can allow us get the unrefined sugar to operationalize the factory.
This hasn't gone down well with the people.
Ministers what how be do. I may won pay me bufu.
I get angry. The deception by some ministers who come here. I am a carpenter, so when I hear that a minister is coming, I know that he won't come and say anything good. I only have to concentrate on the job I have learned to take care of my family.
I go find amba commander amba ka sem pepe bia me engine ndi asa wa gban so many years obado
I won't say anything that President Akufo-Addo says.
Second 4 years
consistently
also
lying to us. The last 4 years he deceived and he deceived us in his second term as well. So does he expect us to vote for him when he's failed woefully?
In the market square here, scores of people have gathered in an indistinct chatter. The Commander Sugar Factory is one of the conversations that does not struggle to find place in what folks talk about here.
They have wasted the land. We could have used it to build a mansion. It is better than leaving it in the state in which it is now. People feel that the Commander Sugar building is a deity.
Since 2015, meanwhile, I'm property. Since I'm property, Ghana property. Commander. Now, why the workers are off. I didn't use for nothing.
Ishmael Kobna talks passionately about the Commander Sugar Factory and how disappointed the community folk are.
Sugar factory now, when we are sure,
they have not planted any sugarcane here. Our prayer was that they would have grown some sugarcane to feed the factory. What we have observed is that the thought processes of our leaders is questionable.
The disappointment of Francis knows no bounds. Francis and his colleagues here say they have lost hope in government.
There was a now me menjuntum sabu hey we asaso he
people are saying that they say they will import raw sugar to feed the factory. What we wanted was for them to support the farmers to plant the required sugarcane. This is really appalling.
The factory, commissioned in 2016 with a $35 million Indian Export-Import Bank loan facility and an additional $24 million to bolster the activities of sugarcane outgrowers, suffered operational challenges and has not produced any sugar for the market. The residents here say they won't forgive government for looking on for such a project to go waste. Heading to the Commander Sugar Factory, I meet Isaac Boama. Isaac says he is MPP but is embarrassed by the turn of event here. He says day in and day out, he gets trolled by his people over the Commander Sugar Factory and want government not to let down the trust of the people.
in a brand ye bre into a sarcophado.
We don't know what is even happening. We have been looking forward for the factory to be operationalized so we the drivers can get a boost in our work. We are suffering. We are pleading with the president to operationalize the factory. They always troll me about this sugar factory. It is because of Percy, who is contesting the KEEA seat. That's why I am in the MPP.
Former board secretary of the Commander Sugar Factory, Ransford Vani Amwa, believes government posture about the Commander Sugar Factory leaves much to be desired and wants government to fix the mess.
So from 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, they still not grew sugarcane. They've not assessed that second tranche of loan, which was approved by Parliament of Ghana. And only to tell us that because we did not develop the canes, that is why they want to import sugar, and they are requesting for a tax waiver so that they will be able to. It's a deception. They only want to deceive the people of Ghana.
Upon an RTI request by Joy News, government has revealed that apart from the $35 million and the additional $24 million facility, government has further pumped in over 52 million Ghana cedis.
In 2019, government indicates that there was an offer by PAC Agrotech to take up a concession instead of outright purchase of the Commander Sugar Factory. The offer was considered the most competitive because the ownership of the factory would be retained by government, whilst Pack Agrotech invests $28 million in the company and pays a $3 million annual concession fee to government for 15 years. That is a total of $45 million. However, there was a delay in concluding negotiations between lawyers of Pack Agrotech and PwC in respect of the conditions precedent for the concession agreement to come into force, citing COVID-19 restrictions. Pack Agrotech couldn't meet the deadline to reach a final determination of all guarantees, and the Ministry of Trade terminated the transaction, and the management and operation of the company was handed over to the board to make a determination on the way forward to revive the company. According to the ministry, to avert further delays, the board took over the revival of the factory and started the process of operationalizing the integrated sugar development project with the support of the ministry and the One District, One Factory initiative. A facility of 46,350,000 Ghana cedis has to date been disbursed by the partnering financial institutions, that is, GCB Bank, CBG Bank, and Prudential Bank, for the comprehensive overhauling and retooling of the factory and the addition of a raw sugar handling system to refine raw sugar. Another facility of 6.2 million Ghana cedis was also disbursed by CBG Bank to cover the purchase of sugarcane and other operational expenses during the test run period.
On the streets of Komenda are thousands of eyes and ears still eagerly waiting for government to do the needful by ensuring that all these monies pumped into the revival of the sugar factory do not go down the drain. Richard Kwejonyako, Joy News, Komenda.
Well, here at Joy News, we're monitoring the situation, and trust us, in subsequent bulletin we'll be unpacking this, finding out why government has failed to operationalize the Komenda sugar factory. Now let's do some other stories. Philomena Esedia's joy of becoming a new mother at Mama B General Hospital quickly turned into a nightmare after a cannula got stuck in her veins and was left there, causing her so much pain. After fighting to get the hospital to fix their mistake, she's unveiling that there's so much gaps in the healthcare system which must be tackled by government. Now, my colleague Jacqueline Asmayewa has more in the following report.
Imagine a sharp pin or a piece of plastic stuck painfully in your vein. This was the reality for Philomena Esiedua, who, after delivering her baby at Mamobi General Hospital, was left with a cannula stuck in her left vein in her left arm. Despite her desperate pleas, the hospital initially refused to take responsibility or cover the cost for its removal.
Well, currently I am at the Mamobi General Hospital where an incident occurred. This is with me here is Philomena Esiedua, where she had a surgery, she had a baby last week, but during the procedure, a cannula was left inside her vein. But then I just want her to explain further how the issues have panned out over these last few days. Esiedua, so then ACA.
I came to give birth at the Mamobi Hospital, but had a cesarean session. After the operation,
over there, so I'm actually feeling something over there. I feel like a pin, something like that there. So, wait me.
Just before I was discharged, I discovered that the cannula was broken in my vein. I was given a referral letter to Kolubu, but the doctors there informed me that the procedure wasn't free. It would typically charge 1,000 Ghana cedis, but agreed to take 600 Ghana cedis from Mamobi Hospital. When I returned to Mamobi, they told me to borrow money for the surgery, but I didn't have any. I explained that I had no one to turn to for help.
Mamobi General Hospital. So I have the husband here with me too.
I came with her. The hospital staff told us they will speak with the doctors and asked us to wait. After 2 hours, they directed us to go to the administration. There, the person in charge told us to come back at 4 p.m. However, by the time I had already left for Kolebu to look after my children in the incubator. Later, I asked my wife what happened, and she told me the hospital didn't attend to her and instead asked her to come back today. My pastor advised that he would come with my wife instead of me, and I agreed and went back to Kolebu. My pastor later called to say they were at Joy FM.
Well, so I'm still here with the family. We came to the hospital to make inquiries to find out if this is indeed true. So I spoke to the doctor and people in charge, and they actually confirmed the fact that yes, it's true. The cannula was left inside her vein. Initially, they asked for her to write a report stating what actually happened to her. So that the hospital can help. That is Mamobi General Hospital. But then another superior who is also here says that well, those in charge who would probably have to sign off the money for her to know around. So we are waiting to see what the hospital has to say. Because if not, she would have to go through the weekend, because today is a Friday and then a Saturday, then a Sunday. So it means she has to wait through till a Monday. It's barely like around 2 p.m. right now. We're still at the Mamobi General Hospital waiting on what the hospital has to say, because this has been days. How long has this been? Days now, what are you saying?
It's been a week already since the cannula was left inside.
You know, I didn't wait a show her 1 week. Yeah, so it's been 1 week. So we're still waiting. 19 July, currently here, waiting on what the hospital has to say.
The turning point came when concerned church members, supported by a news team member, confronted the hospital staff. After several confrontations with the family, Mamobi General Hospital finally agreed to pay the 600 Ghana cedis needed for the procedure at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We joined Philomena and her family as they made their way to Kolebu. Arriving at 3:19 p.m., the anxious wait began. After 40 to 50 minutes, they were faced with a choice: wait for the busy surgeons or return on Monday. Philomena, determined to end her suffering, chose to wait. Late that evening, the family was informed that the procedure would take place the following day. Despite the successful removal of the cannula, the trauma lingered. We returned to Mamobi Hospital the following week, seeking the side of the story. On Monday, July 22nd, 2024, we were asked to come back the next day, only to be met with silence as the hospital delayed their response pending an internal investigation.
Well, I just came out of Mamobi General Hospital's administration just to follow up on the issue of a cannula being left in a patient's vein. But then I was here yesterday, which is Monday. The issue happened on Friday, and Monday I came here just to get clarification as to what actually transpired and what the hospital is doing about this issue. But then I was sent away to come back the following day, which is today, 23rd July 2024. But then the hospital, after deliberations this afternoon, says that they haven't been given the clearance to speak on this issue. But to even suggest a higher authority for me to speak to, they said they are equally not in the right space to do that.
Philomena's ordeal is a stark reminder of the critical issues within our healthcare system. Her resilience and determination highlight the urgent need for accountability and reform.
Reporting for Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
Oh, we're still working the lines to try and get an official response from Mamobi General Hospital. When we do, we'll bring it to you. Now, President Akufo-Addo says he keeps receiving applause from his peers for what he describes as the successful hosting of the 2023 African Games. Ghana welcomed over 13,000 athletes and officials from the continent for the event back in March. Now, the Games were predominantly hosted at the Boteman Sports Complex and the University of Ghana Stadium, as Ghana clinched an impressive 69 medals, where President Akufo-Addo shared his excitement when he met with the local organizing committee yesterday, the first meeting they've had after the Games ended.
I think we should all pat each other on the back. I say that because these big undertakings, if you don't have confidence in the people who are going to work them, you will not put your neck out. And I have to confess, the very first time that you and your team came here to press the case for these games, I was very impressed by you. I was impressed by your commitment, your passion, and also the articulation. It clearly demonstrated that given the opportunity, you could do it. And it is on that basis that I also had the confidence to go forward at the AU, at the Sababa, and elsewhere to insist that we're going to do it and that we will do it well. Nothing is one of the things that is a highlight of my presidency is the way in which my fellow peers, my fellow presidents across the country have been congratulating me wherever I go on the success of the Africa Games. These are what, the 13th, is it? 13th. The 13th edition of the African Games, that they went very, very well. And the whole continent has felt enhanced and elevated by it. This very weekend, Musa Faki Mahamat, who's the president of the AU Commission, was talking about the Games. Yes, it's one of the things that he believes has happened recently that has done a lot to raise the image of the continent. So I have to thank all of you for your contribution and for your hard work and dedication to duty that has made it possible for these games to have come and gone. It's not easy. 13,000 people. And it's not enough for 13,000 people. To have to look after 13,000 people and manage them and see to it that they are comfortable, they're fed, they're bathed and nourished, and they're looked after. But you've done it.
Well, the Volta Regional New Patriotic Party has rubbished claims that the National Democratic Congress, by the National Democratic Congress, I beg your pardon, that President Akufo-Addo does not deserve to be honored by the University of Health and Allied Sciences. Now, according to the Volta Regional MPP Chairman, Makafui Wanyanya, the Akufo-Addo-led government contributed to the development of the university, and that outweighs that of the NDC. Hence, President Akufo-Addo merits the proposed honorary doctorate. He was addressing the media in Ho.
The late President John Evans Atta Mills of the National Democratic Congress proposed and established the University of Health and Allied Sciences, which started operations in September 2012. The University Council announced a decision to confer an honorary doctorate on President Akufo-Addo, which did not sit well with the NDC. The NDC Volta Youth Wing and a group calling itself Concerned Volta Youth claimed those who led and played roles in the establishment of the university should be honored and not President Akufo-Addo. Addressing a press conference in Ho, the Volta Regional Chairman of the NPP, Makafui Wanyanya, rubbished the claims.
Public universities are built and founded by public resources and the taxpayers' money, and does not belong to any ethnic group, let alone a political party. Otherwise, Ashanti-Hini and Ashanti-Ma should lay claim to KNUST, and the Ugwa people should take over the University of Cape Coast and determine their internal policies and operations. Best to our knowledge, the university has already instituted an Atta Mills Memorial Lectures in honor of the late former president. It is also on record that the wife of the late former president Mrs. Ernestina Nadu Mills was a pioneer recipient of an honorary doctorate award from the same university. Therefore, the posture and the threat of the so-called NDC youth wing and their surrogates is not only shameful and condemnable, but also dangerous, also a dangerous precedent.
He stressed that President John Mahama, who succeeded the late President Atta Mills, neglected the infrastructure development of the university. He said if not for the pragmatic efforts of the current government, the Chinese government would not have released money for the Phase 2 expansion project.
It took the personal interest and commitment of the president and his government to set an escrow account and paid in the counterpart funding as a condition precedent for accessing a $60 million loan facility for the Phase 2 expansion of UHAS. The Nanado government's partnership with the Chinese government in Phase 2 of the UHAS resulted in a $60 million project that included construction of the Central Administration Complex, the largest school of nursing and midwifery in West Africa, and a fully equipped state-of-the-art simulation center. The project is expected to increase students' capacity by at least 2,500.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Well, let's stay with politics. Some members of the governing New Patriotic Party in the Seshiri constituency of the Western North region have staged a protest against the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. This comes after the Speaker walked out the Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Kwekwe Friye, over comments the Speaker described as rude. The aggrieved party sympathizers say the conduct of the Speaker amounts to gross disrespect to their MP and the people of Seshi. Well, MPP Constituency Secretary Atap Marfo described the Speaker's action as unfortunate. There's more in this report.
Parliament, there was standing orders. Standing order 35.
Dr. Kwekwe Friye was only expressing his opinion. So why must he be sacked from the chamber?
Standing orders 129. Procedures are Parliament.
We are demanding an apology from the Speaker. He must apologize to Dr. Kwekwe Friye.
You're watching News 6. We'll be back after this quick breather.
Otherwise,
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. The Director General for the Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Ugbami-Tete, is asking financial sector players to be risk-conscious and put up measures to ensure sustainability. Speaking at the 2024 Risk Summit Africa, he said businesses must be innovative to thrive despite the current economic challenges. Here's more.
The Risk Summit Africa stands as a prominent conference dedicated to the fields of governance, risk compliance, and audit across the African continent. The summit served as a gathering point for professionals, experts, and thought leaders hailing from diverse industries encompassing finance, insurance, healthcare, cybersecurity, and more. At the summit, Reverend Ugbami-Tete entreated business to be more vigilant.
The rise of digital payments, alternative investment, and fintech innovations have disrupted traditional financing models. However, challenges such as low financial inclusion, cyber security, and a lag in regulatory adaptability persists. Additionally, the country's economic vulnerabilities exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and global economic shocks have highlighted the need for resilient systems. Navigating this complex environment requires strategic thinking, innovation, and a deep understanding of our evolving financial ecosystem. I anticipate the Risk Summit Africa 2024 will provide a vital platform to explore these challenges and opportunities. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to paint on a broad canvas the essence of building resilience and charting the path forward.
Chief Executive Officer for Redrick Consulting Firm, Frederick Akins, explained the rationale behind the event.
I believe that there are a lot of risk professionals out there who need some guidance, okay, in terms of understanding what risk is, you know, understanding what is happening in terms of the risk landscape. You look at technological advancements with its cyber risks. You look at regulatory issues and the need for us to have compliance. You also look at globalization and then supply chain risks, and then look at you know, issues concerning, you know, social and political risks. All these things are affecting us one way or the other. So risk professionals have to understand the landscape and also embrace the fact that risks are no more isolated, but they are kind of interconnected. Okay, there are interdependencies, there are systemic risks, and all these things. So this event is actually going to bring us together to be able to have a dialogue.
The summit primarily concentrates on navigating emerging risk, enhancing audit frameworks, and fostering collaboration and information exchange.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of Maxwell Investment Group, Maxwell Ampong, is asking small and medium-scale enterprises to invest judiciously monies from government and other private firms to expand their operations. Now, speaking to Joy Business at the GCB Bank SME Capacity Building Workshop, he called on these SMEs to be more vigilant.
GCB Bank SME Capacity Building Workshop is to enhance operational efficiency and resilience, access to finance to ensure stability within the SME space. Chief Executive Officer for Maxwell Investment Group, Maxwell Ampong, is asking government to invest in critical areas within the SME space.
Youth, we have to be vigilant. Our futures are in our hands now. A lot of things are possible if we just take a step to ensure that the right thing is done. We are here with stakeholders like Development Bank Ghana, like GCB Bank, who are telling us all these heavy figures, as you've mentioned, making promises here and there. And we have to ensure that what they've said they will do. I'm very happy that the representative from Development Bank Ghana said that some of the financial literacy courses are certified and would soon, in conjunction with the University of Ghana, be offered in Twi and in Ga, and hopefully in other languages like Ewe, Dagbani, and the others as well. When you make such a promise to a youth in Boko, in Tumu, in Savelugu, around the Aflao border somewhere, it's a huge opportunity. The onus is on us to follow up.
Head of Corporate Banking Business at GCB Bank PLC, Linus Kumi, reiterated the bank's commitment to supporting SMEs.
We believe SMEs play a very vital role in our economy, so we thought it was a good opportunity to come in and build their capacity on how to assess funding, one, and also understand the dynamics in the market to be able to penetrate all the challenges and hurdles that we have within that space. If you do not understand or you don't have an appreciation of the dynamics within that space, it turns out that you will borrow the money and then misapply it. Our goal was to get that training in place, let them understand how to structure your finances, and then we'll be able to support the business. JCB has the largest SME customer base, and by virtue of what we do, we fund these businesses.
And that's it for this segment. The news returns after this break.
And before we leave, convener of the Global Crusade with Kumi, Dr. William Kumi, says the church is ready to put the action to visitors of the Christian faith that seek to transform the social and economic status of the African continent. Well, Dr. Kumuyi is in Ghana for the July edition of the Global Crusade aimed at fostering national cohesion, spiritual growth, and social economic development. There's more in this report.
Convener of the Global Crusade with Kumuyi receiving a warm welcome as he lands in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, for a transformative gathering of Christians and other professionals. The Global Crusade is a monthly conference that aims at propagating the gospel and rekindling steadfastness in believers while supporting the society through social interventions.
This will go on record that there was nothing like it before.
Speaking at a media engagement ahead of the week-long activities, Dr. William F. Kumuyi is anticipating a transformational encounter through a collective effort.
I want to unite together, open our eyes, thank God for what the church has done, what Christian professionals have done, and look forward as we open our eyes to what we can do. Not only for the youth to change our world and to touch the economy and every area of profession. The Lord giving us vision and strategy and drive to make things better. Not to leave the world, our world, the way we found the world when we came in. So, in unity together, under the grace of God, we'll see how we have more vision. And we'll put action to our vision to make economy and everything better.
The interdenominational event, hinged on Christian principles, is aimed at promoting national cohesion and integration for peace and conflict resolution. As over 17 countries in Africa hit the polls to elect new crops of leaders, Dr. Kumuyi is optimistic of positive outcomes for the elections on the African continent.
When we talk of full salvation, we're not just talking about, I'm born again, I'm saved. What God wanted the world to be. He wants to make us be agents and carrier of the full salvation of the Lord. And as for the election and everything, God is in control of every nation. He'll give us his very best for our country here in Ghana.
Stakeholders of the Christian fraternity in the Ashanti region are in anticipation of a transformative crusade.
We have prayed and we are in anticipation. We know what God is using you and your team to do around the globe. And we believe that Kumasi being what it is, we've had many crusades here. But we believe that this will be one that is of a difference.
And we are praying that all the programs, God will reveal himself to us.
We are grateful to God that this day has come before Christ has come. And so therefore, we really are going to receive salvation in our land. The glory of God will be lifted up and definitely souls will be saved, not just in Kumasi, but across the globe.
God bless everyone.
Well, that's it for NewsDesk. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Faustina Safo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs. I'll be back at 12 noon with the midday news.